Hey, I'm Garry Patton, PDGA number 49643 with Team MVP, and today I'm going to show you what's in my bag and kind of what I'll be throwing at Pro Worlds this year. So first things first here, I am carrying the Voyager Pro bag. It carries everything that I could possibly want and around. I have tons of backups in here, which we'll get into right now. So I'll start out with my Neutron Nitros. I actually bag 4 of these. A max weight one here it's very overstable. I can't possibly do anything wrong with it besides just go left, and that's what I wanted to do. And then I carry a high 160s Neutron one here, and then another 160s one here it's kind of more beat in, and then my workhorse 170s one with this cool infinite stamp. During Ledgestone, this got me through Lake Eureka quite well, and I'm looking to do the same at Worlds. So pretty much, honestly, you'll see me throw this about half the holes out there. It's a really great disc. Next, I have 2 Panics in my bag, one being Beat right here. I use this for forehand pop-up shots and really big turnover max distance shots. And then I have an overstable one here that kind of similar to the Nitros here. It just gets the job done, an overstable workhorse. Same thing if I need to throw force flex forehands where the Nitros are just a little bit too overstable. This is a great disc to complement that flight. In here, I bag 1 Neutron Dimension. I love this for pullover shots, and if I throw it with my absolute hardest power on a little bit of hyzer, it'll flip up and turn over just a touch, but it'll never really leak right, and it'll just push and then fade left for me. It's also a very good force sidearm disc if I'm not feeling the panic. So all these kind of have their place, even though they fly pretty similar. All right, now let's talk about my more understable distance drivers. This light blue OCTANE here flies sort of similar to my Panic, but it'll get me more distance and more turn. And it's really with less power and less effort. So that's a good thing to have in your bag, especially in a tailwind shot. And then I have this OCTANE here, which is just absolutely beautiful. I love the color of it. That's kind of why I got it, but it's way more understable, and I throw it for rollers and really big tailwind shots that I can release on almost like 45 to plus degree hyzer, and it'll still pop up and go over for me. Or I can throw it flat and hard and it'll turn into a big roller. So that's a really helpful shot to have in your bag. Next, I bag 2 Proton Traces. They're pretty much the exact same. This one being about 6 months old and this one being about 2 weeks old. These are very easy to throw discs. I don't have to throw them with max power, but I could if I want to. I just have to put more angle on them. These are my tunnel shot shaping discs, about 400 feet, maybe to about 450. I don't really want to push them more than that because they'll start getting a little flippy on me. They're also very good for touch sidearms, where if I want to pop it on a hyzer, it'll pull over and it'll hold for a long time until it comes back softly. That's a fantastic shot to have in the woods. And these are just great shot shaping discs. I love them. All right, now to my overstable fairway drivers. First one is I bag a Plasma Fireball here. I love this disc for sidearm shots, and I also like it for backhand where I need to actually push the disc a bit and give me a nice slow, gentle fade. Which the reason I say that is, I'll just go ahead and mention my motion here. My Neutron motion is great for shots where if I want to hyzer and actually stab the ground more so than skip, this is the option I would want. Whereas too, if I want to actually get a little ground play, the Plasma Fireball is better. I also like the motion for overhand shots more. It just seems to have a nice slower turn on it, and I can really hammer it through the woods and hit lines that I'm looking to hit. It's great for scrambling. So next I have my straighter fairway drivers. I bag a Plasma Tesla and a Neutron Shock. It is just a pop-up to flat shot, a slow leak to the right, especially if you throw nose down, you can keep it on a straight line for a long time. You don't really have to worry about it going left or right. And then the Tesla here, I can throw harder. I can even put a little flex on it. It'll hold for a long time and have a subtle finish. The good thing about the Tesla though, if I throw it soft on a hyzer, it'll pop up and actually ride straight, not really turning over, but getting a lot of distance and then a nice fade on it and good ground play. So I'm gonna mention my mids now. I'm gonna start with my overstables being the Streamline Neutron RUNWAYs. I love these discs for backhand and forehand upshots. They're also good utility rollers because they have such a thick rim here. It's so deep when you throw a roller with a forehand especially, it likes to stay straight and not really go left or right. I'm not saying you can throw them 400 feet on a roller, but they're really good for wood scramble shots. I also like how deep the rim is because I one finger flick my forehands, and it's really good for my release. It just matches it well. And same thing for backhand. I dig in with a pinch grip. I can put all the pressure I want to with my thumb in here. The disc never gets warped or puddle topped. It can just handle it, and I can throw it as hard as I want to with the pindable fade. And they also skip really well. All right, next let's talk about my favorite mid-range, the Matrix. I bagged 3 matrices, and you might see me throwing even more in and out of my bag this week. So I'll start with my protons. This green proton here, first it's max weight, pretty much 178, and it is a very early matrix that flips over. So if I need my matrix to pop up a hyzer and slowly leak to the right and not really come back, this is very dependable, and I love throwing it in the woods. And then my absolute workhorse matrix is my 178 gram proton matrix, this orange one here. I throw this on a little bit of hyzer, it pops up and goes right for a bit and still kind of finishes straight, so I don't have to worry about it leaking too much on me. I'm comfortable with this disc to about 360 to 380, but max power I can get it about 400 if I'm giving it my all. And the great thing is the disc can handle it. And then my last matrix here is a neutron matrix. I'll throw this when I want something a little more overstable that I can even force over. It'll hold for a bit and still flex out for me. Not so much to where the Runway would, because the Runway would flex out and skip really bad. This will have a nice soft landing, especially if I throw it a touch nose up. All right, last but not least, let's talk about my putters here. For my overstable putters, I bag the Glow Core Eclipse Envies. This white rim here is my more straighter one. It'll pop up and go over a touch and finish pretty much straight, maybe a little left. And then the red one here, it'll absolutely just finish left for me. I can throw it on a spike hyzer, it'll push, but it'll still fade left. It never really turns over to the right. And if I absolutely need to yank something over, this is my disc. I can throw it on an absolute force ante. It'll get back to about flat, maybe a little left. It just flies great. I love these discs. All right, and my straighter throwing putters here, I bag 2 electron anodes. I like how deep the rim is. I pinch grip everything. So when I release them on a hyzer, I'll get a nice slow hyzer flip that'll just slightly pull to the right, but it won't dump to the right. And from time to time, I'll cycle in more beat ones where I can throw them on like a super angle high, and you'll get that nice big ante that you can work with. It's just a very good shot shaping disc. I'd say not as far as the matrix, but it fits in well. And last but not least, I have my putting putters here. I putt with 2 firm electron ions. I love putting with putters this firm because my thumb doesn't push too hard on it. I get a nice clean release. I'm not dealing with a ton of wobble. And the ion is deep and it has a bead that fits great in my hand, and it has a decent amount of stability, so it'll fade down sort of like a brick, especially when they're brand new. They don't have a ton of glide, so you actually have to put them on a line you want, and that's what I like about them. You're controlling more so than, like I'm not playing the wind, I'm more or less just manhandling it, and I like that effect about putting, where I can just make it do what I want. Thanks for watching. This has been my In the Bag for Pro Worlds. Again, I'm Garry Patton with MVP, and I'll see you later.